Live in San Francisco. Claudia, thanks.
34 minutes past the hour now. Getting a bit of breaking news now from the Middle East. Fox News now confirming that secret peace talks have been held between Israeli leaders and Palestinian leaders. Not much more information from that, but what about all this now with Dore Gold, president of the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. Good to see you again, and good morning to you, Mr. Ambassador. What about these talks?
Well, there's a report in one of the Israeli newspapers about high-level talks involving the office of the President of Israel. I don't think they've been confirmed, and therefore, I wouldn't really focus on them. Israelis and Palestinians know how to talk and can speak if they want to.
Well, they've proven that over the years.
Yes.
Frankly, they've proven that over the decades. Does this tell you or suggest publicly that perhaps these two sides are moving in one particular direction or not?
No, I think it's too premature. I think we have to go back, though, to basics, because I think the Prime Minister laid out something very fundamental and very important for the future of any talks. There's an expectation that Israel somehow withdraw to the 1967 lines, which were never a border of the State of Israel. They were where armies had stopped in an earlier war when Israel had been invaded. And I think what the Prime Minister said is that those borders, those lines, were indefensible, and therefore Israel needs defensible borders. And in any future talks, that will be one of the points that Israel will insist upon.
Well, there was a prairie fire that spread across this issue about a week ago when the President made his speech in Washington. What the White House says, though, is that 1967 is not a headline. And that was misrepresented by many people in the media. It says that 1967 has always been the starting point for any negotiations on the future shape of the Middle East. Is that true?
Well, there have been different points of emphasis here. In 2004, the State of Israel received a presidential letter that was confirmed by both houses of Congress, saying that Israel would not be expected to fully withdraw to the 1949 armistice line. That's the technical name of the 67 line. George Shultz, who was Secretary of State of Ronald Reagan, said Israel would never withdraw to the 1967 line. So it hasn't always been a reference term. I think President Obama introduced some wiggle room in terms of what the expectation is of Israel with reference to that line, but we need defensible borders.
In what way?
Well, he mentioned land swaps. The Palestinians see a land swap as representing a very small amount of territory. We need defensible borders. The Jordan Valley, that great barrier that protects Israel either from conventional attack or from massive infiltration by al-Qaeda and other forces from the east. That is how we've kept Israel secure for over 40 years. And therefore, that kind of deployment, that kind of presence is what we're going to need in the future.
When you look at the neighborhood, the region in this case, with what's happening in Egypt, with what's happening in Syria, does this process stand a chance moving forward today?
That's an excellent question, because you put yourself in the position of an Israeli Prime Minister. You look around at the Middle East. You don't know if the countries around you will even be there in 5 years or in 3 years. Will the governments be changed? Will you have more radical regimes? What's going to happen to Iraq after the U.S. Army leaves? Will it become an Iranian satellite? And therefore, all the more so, Israel needs defensible borders and can't simply withdraw to unsafe boundaries.
I take your answer as a no when it comes to that question.
We can make peace. But peace is based on compromise in which you protect your vital interests. Our vital interests are in Jerusalem and in keeping those borders that we can allow us to protect ourselves.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you. Dore Gold is with us here in New York. Good to see you again, all right?
Pleasure.
As this continues. Okay. Jamie.